Is it over yet? 2020? I mean, it can't last forever, right? Hey everybody, Chris King here with Love Live Music. Thanks for tuning into my channel. If it's your first time here, please click a like or subscribe button. If you've been here before, I sure am happy to see you. I wanted to go over a couple of things before 2020 finally ends. This is more or less my year-end wrap-up. I know I've only been doing this channel for a few months, so I'm not going to really talk about the whole breadth of the year, but I'm just going to go over a few points. My favorite live albums, my favorite concerts of the year, things like that. I want to start by saying thank you so much for tuning in through these videos that I've made. I've had this idea of starting a YouTube channel for a little while, and I'm really glad that I did. It's a lot of fun to interact with you guys in the comments. I'm up to almost 250 subscribers, which has met my expectation and my goal. So I'm very thankful for you guys to pay attention and watch my video, even if it's just for a couple of minutes a few times a week. Moving on to the big news is the year's almost over, right? That's what everybody's so excited about. We've put a lot of hate on 2020, and we're glad to say that it's over. I thought about doing some end of the year list regarding my favorite live albums or my favorite concerts or just my favorite regular albums. But since I've only been doing this channel for a few months and I wasn't necessarily cataloging things in my mind as I listened to them earlier in the year, I thought I would just, in no particular order, go through some of my favorite ideas and favorite moments. This certainly doesn't encompass the entire year. You know, with live music, the way it went with in my world, as someone that produces a lot of live shows at multiple venues, on March 13th, everything came to a screeching halt. We had planned, actually, in one of my rooms, Keller Williams was playing that night, and I guess the day before we saw the writing on the wall. The NBA had canceled, and we needed to pull out of the Keller Williams show on Friday, March 13th. I did have a smaller rock show, some locals, and a touring band in one of my other venues that did play on that night. And, you know, that was the last night of a regular show that I remember seeing. Things that I saw before that in the year that stood out. On Saturday, March 7th, I saw the fantastic band Reckless Kelly, one of my favorite bands that gets lumped into the Texas country genre, but really these guys originally from Idaho who transplanted themselves into Austin in the mid-late 90s, and their music has really been a big part of my life. The first couple of albums specifically I was listening to when I decided to make a move from Fayetteville, Arkansas, where I'd lived for years, and moved down to Little Rock to open up my music venues in the capital city of Arkansas. And so that Reckless Kelly show on March 7th really stands out to me as the last great concert that I saw before everything shut down. Other highlights in February, the band Muscadine Bloodline, which is definitely on the up in the country music world. You need to check them out if you're not familiar. And I saw an incredible, and I use that word knowing exactly what the meaning is. This is no hyperbole. An incredible Depeche Mode tribute band called Strangelove. And if you are a fan of Depeche Mode, you got to see Strangelove if they ever come through your town. Those really are the three shows that stood out to me this year. Casey Donahue put on a great show in February. I saw that. Saw a lot of good, strong local things. My friends DeFrance, who have been so kind to loan me a snippet of their song Runaway Heart that I play in the intro. I got to see them once before the break. The break. That's what we're calling the pandemic now. The break. And then I've had them on stage since then when we've reopened one of our venues to do very small shows. But really, you know, the live music shows, the great ones have been few and far between in this year. Even at doing 12 to 14, 15 shows between September and November with a small capacity reserve seat. Nobody can stand up. You have to wear your mask. There's no dancing because we live in a footloose type world right now. It's just not the same. It's not the same as packing in shoulder to shoulder with a bunch of strangers and feeling the kick drum in the middle of your sternum. It'll come back. It'll probably come back this summer in some degree, maybe springtime in some areas, but it will come back. It just seems like it's taking forever. My favorite live albums of the year, well, probably what I enjoy more than anything was the live record that the Prince estate put out back in the springtime. It was available on VHS in the late 80s. It was the Prince 1985 Purple Rain Tour show from Syracuse, New York. And that was something that I watched so many times as a child, and I was really happy to get good audio on that. You can find it on the streaming sites now. I know that I believe they've sold it packaged as a CD. I'm not sure if they've got it on vinyl or not. That was probably my highlight. I certainly enjoyed the Rolling Stones live record that came out, the Wilco stuff that came out on the Summer Teeth reissue, the live Prince stuff that came out on the Sign of the Times reissue, which is a fabulous reissue. Those were all enjoyable for me. The War on Drugs live Drugs album was one that I've listened to so much. I keep thinking I've got to do a review on it. But I'm a big fan of the band and that album. All in all, that's just kind of a capsule of what I've liked, what I've listened to, and how I'm going to wrap up my 2020. What's new for 2021? I don't know. I'll wake up tomorrow and figure that out when I get there. I really appreciate you guys tuning in, watching my videos through the year. We're going to do more of them. There's some popping up on the screen right now. My name's Chris King, and I love live music.